Xbox and Xbox owners really seem to have gotten some good news for a change, and I'm excited to be the one to be able to announce this. With so often lately, it seems like everything is just so negative when it comes to Xbox. So it definitely was nice to see that something good was actually happening, and and it's exciting for everybody. And the good news is we won't have very long to wait for this, which I think is perfect because people, let's just be real, when it comes to Xbox, apparently, Nintendo can wait 9 years for the new Metroid from when they announced it, but again, and Sony can wait as long as they want to announce a game and release it, but Microsoft Studios, once they announce it, they're on a short leash to get out there and actually release the games, unfortunately. So a little bit of a double standard there that I can point out, which is 100% accurate. I know some people out there are trying to reason with themselves and trying to think they're reasoning with me, going, no, that's not true. It is true, right? Like, nobody's out there calling for a Ghost of Tsushima 2 right yet, because the last one just came out in 2020. So think about that. A game that Microsoft announced in 2020 maybe started in 2019 development. It's only been 3.5 years, folks, but people want these games now. They don't realize is that, creating games is difficult, and, it's going to take some time. But once those games do start coming out, I think it's going to be, pretty interesting to see what happens, because obviously I don't think that Microsoft is ever going to get like a fair shake at things in general, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I thought this was very interesting, and I want you all to take this with a grain of salt, because anytime there is a rumor or whatever, it is best to always take it with a grain of salt. And I always point that out too, because we don't want everybody to go out there going, oh, this is 100% factual, because we don't really know yet. We'll see how this kind of works out. It could be factual. It sounds like it could be something that they did to improve their fortunes and things like that, and that's exactly what they needed to do. So I'm happy with that. I can't wait to see what happens here with this news and the way that everybody's going to react to it. But Microsoft has a lot riding on Starfield, and this is a huge Starfield leak. Don't underestimate that, and this could make all the difference between what Microsoft is trying to do and the things that Sony are doing, and like Sony will always get away with whatever they want and always get the benefit of the doubt in much the same way that Nintendo will. And I kind of have covered this multiple times with the new Zelda game scoring the way it has. I find it hard to believe that any other, any Microsoft game reusing the exact same map, there's the same assets, and keeping and having a frame rate drop down into the teens, I think that they would have a very difficult time getting a 97 rated game out like that, unfortunately. So when we see like that double standard, we have to realize that Microsoft is always going to face an uphill battle with whatever they do, and that's unfortunate. But I found this still to be pretty interesting nonetheless. So according to this, it's great news for the game. With Starfield's release has caused some with Redfall, apparently everybody thinks Redfall and Starfield are made by the same team, and so woe is Starfield apparently. According to this rumor, Doom developer id Software has been assisting Bethesda Game Studios with Starfield's combat for a while now. The combat has supposedly improved dramatically as a result, with it being better than the last time the fans saw it. The upcoming Starfield Direct will be the final determiner of just how much better things got. So listen, like, people might go, well, CG, you're not the biggest Doom fan. Listen, I think Doom is probably the smoothest playing game combat-wise and fluidity-wise and things like that I've ever played. Like Doom Eternal, Doom from, 2016. I didn't finish beating that game, and the only reason why I didn't was because there was a little bit too much backtracking, and I think other stuff came out. But I remember thinking that this is like the most fluid combat I've ever experienced in a game, and the story didn't matter, which is rare for me. It was just like so much fun to go around there, and so smooth, no hiccups. So yeah, I could see why this would be something that they do, get help from each other. This is what your studios are for. When you're all under one roof, realistically, I know it's not technically the same roof, but you have these people that can help, and I hope that Microsoft does that too. Like, people want help with water effects or whatever, why not ask Rare? If you need help with Unreal Engine, go to Coalition. That's something that needs to be a staple of the future. Now, with all rumors, it should be taken with a grain of salt. But anyway, again, it'll be judged by the source, which is, one of those things that kind of happen sometimes. The rumor has made the lines online, including social media like Reddit and Twitter. So again, we'll have to see how this happens. The rumor is not a stretch or a reach. In fact, it sounds like it would be good news for Starfield. It claims that id Software joined the project last year with a focus on improving Starfield's combat, and it is in a vastly better state than it was during the Xbox showcase last year. It should be noted that it's not unusual for a company the size of Bethesda Softworks to see collaboration among its studios, and in fact, id Software has opened a great source of support, is often a great place of support for them. For example, id Software assisted BGS on Fallout 4, with many claiming that that's why the gunplay had more punch to it than Fallout 3. So ultimately, while the source is questionable, or one of those things that you definitely should take with a grain of salt, it wouldn't be surprising if it were true, and it would ultimately be a good thing for Starfield. Now, having worked on major shooters like Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake, and Rage, there's arguably not a better studio under Bethesda's umbrella to assist with Starfield's gunplay. Many reactions to this rumor so far trended positively, and that's good for Bethesda's upcoming new IP. The game and BGS at large are no doubt under a lot of pressure, as the recent negative reviews of Redfall, have actually kind of led to people questioning Starfield, and would it be all that it's made out to be? So again, it's kind of people questioning what Microsoft is doing. But we kind of already know that no matter what Microsoft does, like let's say that Starfield scores a 91 Metacritic, right? And I'm not saying Metacritic is the end-all be-all, but let's just say it scores a 91. Microsoft will get zero credit for that. They will say, well, this game was already in development before Microsoft got them. It has nothing to do with Microsoft. It's all on, blah, blah, blah. But yet again, Redfall was all Microsoft's fault. So that's what I'm talking about here when it comes down to it. So we'll see what happens, again, to see what happens with like the long run and things like that with these games, because again, I feel like Microsoft has so much going for it, and they're never going to get the love that Sony or Nintendo get for certain things. And I know people get tired of that tangent, but it's just honestly 100% true. And when you think about it, it's not even something that I think that anybody can deny at this point. I just think that it's just something that we all just kind of live with at this point, right? It's like, oh, well, Microsoft is one of those things that is kind of happening, hey, they get booed, they never get the cheers that they should. It's super unfortunate, and I do hope that they eventually get the love that they deserve. So I would love to see that, hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. With that being said, I will link this article. What do you guys think? Did you guys want to see an improvement on the gameplay? I would love to see that kind of happening sooner rather than later. I don't care. Like, for me, I didn't think the gameplay looked bad to begin with, but getting id to go in there and help is never a bad thing either. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. I'm the Crap Gamer, and this has been Crap Gamer Reviews. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer, out.